you know, trans kids, this is it right here. That's the coach. Trans kids belong. They had a conversation together. They walked up to each other. They had the talk. And by the way, just so you know, we did not know this. I Googled to see which side Cheryl Reeve is on. She's actually lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. But they're having a conversation here to the left. That's Sophie and her talking. Then the post-game interview, she's being interviewed, the coach, and the question is asked. And here's what the coach had to say of the opposing team. If you can go to what the coach had to say of the opposing team in the post-game interview.
Stop whatever you're doing and pay close attention, because the world of women's basketball has been thrown into complete turmoil. What is unfolding could become one of the most controversial and emotionally charged disputes the WNBA has ever faced. Away from the television cameras and beyond the packed arenas, Caitlin Clark is reportedly reaching a breaking point after weeks of mounting frustration. Rumors have continued to swirl about growing tension, hard fouls, and what many believe has been unfair treatment of the Indiana Fever. Yet almost no one expected the latest reports that have now taken social media by storm. Discussions of possible legal action have sparked intense debate after claims surfaced that Clark finally decided to speak out. Following a highly controversial situation involving WNBA coaches and the Trans Kids Belong protest shirts, some reports allege that Sophie Cunningham became the focus of heavy criticism. According to those same claims, however, one major detail was overlooked. They underestimated Clark's unwavering support for her teammate. Stay with this video until the very end, because we're breaking down the reported legal battle making headlines, the words Clark is alleged to have directed toward the coaching staff, and the developments that have everyone talking across the basketball world. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and let's examine the controversy surrounding the WNBA. To understand how this entire situation reportedly unfolded, we have to go back to what happened in Seattle. Emotions were already running high, with the atmosphere becoming increasingly tense. Members of the Seattle Storm coaching staff and several opposing teams publicly supported the Trans Kids Belong shirts, transforming the court into the center of a much larger public debate. According to critics, the issue extended far beyond clothing, becoming a dispute over influence, authority, and whether players were feeling pressure to take a public stance.
More than anything, educate, and there are some things that, you know, we have in common and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so...
You can pause it right there. I want you to now watch what Caitlin Clark's
nice
coach had to say when she was questioned. This is Caitlin Clark's coach. Okay, go for it.
Your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports. What's your personal stance?
Watch her answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
No, but wait a minute. You got to keep playing it. Is this the only clip we have? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Because she says, I used to play with men when I was a kid. I always played with men when I was a kid. And she answers the question like, you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then the game's being played yesterday. Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face by an elbow that pretty much almost like massive foul. They called the foul on her. I don't even know if we can even play this clip or not.
According to reports from alleged insiders, everything changed when Sophie Cunningham reportedly refused to give in to the mounting pressure coming from opposing coaching staffs. From that point forward, claims suggest she was treated as the primary target. Those reports allege that certain coaches worked together in an effort to isolate her and damage her image. Supporters point to constant verbal attacks from the sidelines, questionable officiating decisions, and repeated confrontations whenever Sophie had the ball in her hands. The goal, according to these allegations, was to wear her down mentally and send a message in front of the entire basketball world. Critics also claim league officials failed to step in, allowing one of the Indiana Fever's toughest competitors to face relentless scrutiny without meaningful support. Many believed Sophie was standing on her own and would eventually fold under the pressure. What they may not have expected, however, was the close bond she shared with one of the league's biggest stars. Those who know the team say that when someone targets a trusted teammate, the response can be far stronger than anyone anticipates. Eventually, the situation reportedly reached a breaking point, creating what some have described as one of the most dramatic locker room moments the league has ever seen. After an intense game filled with claims of repeated hostility directed towards Sophie from the opposing bench. The Indiana Fever returned to the locker room, carrying the weight of the night's emotions. The atmosphere felt incredibly tense. Sophie, who is widely known for handling adversity with confidence and composure, was reportedly affected by what supporters viewed as an unusual level of disrespect throughout the game. For weeks, Caitlin Clark had largely stayed out of the public debate. She absorbed the criticism, ignored the distractions, and remained focused on basketball. But according to these reports, watching one of her closest teammates pushed to her limit changed everything. Witnesses claimed the room suddenly fell silent as Clark rose to her feet. Rather than quietly addressing the situation, she reportedly spoke with unmistakable emotion. According to those accounts, she stepped into the middle of the locker room, locked eyes with team personnel and nearby league representatives, and appeared visibly frustrated as emotions reached their highest point.
All the problems that we have in our society, we have to still play this trans kids belong. And listen, I pray for those people. I pray for those people that are confused. My heart goes out to them. I literally pray all the time. Like, let them figure it out. Talk to somebody that's going to do it instead of them patting you on the back and saying, you know what? Take your breast off or chop your penis off. And the majority of those people have freaking depression and they wind up killing themselves. Or if not, they wind up shooting up places and they call us transphobic. Give me a freaking break. Shut down the WNBA. Where's the money coming from? Name me a company that loses $40 million a year and people still put up with this. And mind you, Caitlin Collins is your superstar.
Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin Collins, whatever. Potato. That's how much. Adam.
Well, it's technically, if you can't do potato in the NBA, then
exactly.
it's
But Adam, think about
this. And she got you new TV and sponsorship deals, and that money is being used to pay the players, and now you don't need her.
And great point, Tom. Are you ready for this, Adam? They hate her because she's white. She's the nastiest player in the league, and everybody, the coaches, the refs, the players, all hate on her because she's a white star, and she had to bend the knee too. I'm done with the WNBA, bro. I'm tired of it. Is that bad? I'm furious. No, am I wrong, Pat?
So where are you at with this?
I'm just, Vinny, I mean this sincerely. Thank you for coming over.
Finally, you got me.
Thank you. Just stay out of
FYI, just so you know, that's not happening. The first team in WNBA just got $1 billion valuation. Yeah. Their revenue's up to $500 million. They're not profitable yet, so it's not like they're making money now. But Vinny, there is no way this thing's going away because the simple fact that we're talking about it right now means it's right.
Almost no one could believe the reports that followed. According to accounts circulating afterward, Clark suddenly picked up a clipboard and reportedly slammed it against the lockers with tremendous force before raising her voice throughout the room. Those present claim she wasn't simply standing up for Sophie. She was openly challenging what she believed was the league's handling of the situation. Sources allege Clark shouted that everyone had watched Sophie endure repeated attacks, allowed opposing coaches to push beyond acceptable limits, and failed to step in when it mattered most. She reportedly insisted that Sophie had sacrificed everything for the franchise and declared she would no longer remain silent while her teammate was being treated that way. According to those same accounts, the officials inside the room were left speechless, unsure of how to respond as the confrontation unfolded. But the moment reportedly didn't end there. Witnesses claim Clark turned directly toward team executives and league representatives before delivering another powerful statement that immediately fueled widespread speculation across the basketball community. Rather than letting the confrontation fade away, the controversy only appeared to grow. Reports soon began circulating that, less than 24 hours after the emotional locker room incident, Clark's legal representatives had become involved, adding an entirely new layer of uncertainty to an already explosive situation. That's the development that quickly captured everyone's attention.
Man, they were upset. I was surprised. Some people liked the take. Other people were upset with the take. You know, and listen, Kelsey was hot. I'm not saying that. But it's frustrating to never get the ball when you're open in the half court. And I mean never. Venom Reacts noticed it. Man, we got to get you over to the Caitlin Clark zone, Venom. Venom noticed it. He saw it. He always sees it.
Like, look at this, man. They got raped.
Yeah, Venom always does solid breakdowns. Awful coaching-esque breakdowns of these Indiana Fever games, really exposing some things that we all talk about and exposing things that maybe a lot of us haven't seen. So shout out to Venom as well.
Raven Johnson bringing it up. CC's relegated.
As soon as Raven Johnson was in the game, you knew that it was over.
to the left wing. This is sad. Stephanie White, like, this is sad, man. Kayla Clark, like, even look at the way Kayla Clark walked away from Aaliyah when Aaliyah tried to talk to her. Like, look right here. Look at Aaliyah Boston and Kayla right here. Aaliyah tries to talk to her, and Kayla turns to her left side like, girl, stop talking to me right now. Dead ass, stop talking to me. I don't want to hear shit you guys say right now. I'm just being honest. Stop talking to me. Like, I like this, though. I like this. Because all the stuff that I'm saying now is starting to come to the light.
Cece, stop being friends. Stop trying to be friends with everybody. Let them know. Let them know we ain't doing this hub BS. You're the hub. You're the engine. You're not wheels. You're not an exhaust. You're not a hubcap. You're not headers. You're not cams. You're none of that. You are the engine. You are the actual engine itself. The V12 of the Indiana Fever, not the hub. Let them know, hey, we're cool, but we ain't that cool. I'm gonna need that rock.
Like, hee hee ha ha, the Fever on the wing game shit. Oh!
Reaction was unmistakable. Leave Sophie Cunningham out of these controversies. Stop directing unnecessary hostility toward her. And do not subject her to further public embarrassment. According to the same accounts, the warning reportedly made it clear that if the alleged treatment continued, every available legal option would be explored, setting the stage for what supporters believe could become one of the biggest disputes the league has ever faced.
As a hill they're willing to die on. We've talked about this. We all have our hills. The WNBA has basically said, this is the hill we're willing to die on because the L, the G, the B has been grouped in with that T, and they need to basically protect that T. And in the NBA, because I'm the local NBA guru over here, we know. Yeah. You know, they say, you know, you live by the NBA. You say you live by the 3 and you die by the 3, right? So the women of the NBA are going to die on this hill if it's the last thing they do. And they're not double dribbling. They're doubling down on this nonsense. And at this point, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm sitting there eating my popcorn just being like, you have this generational talent, Caitlin Clark, and you're running her out of the league. And you have this beautiful person, Sophie Cunningham, who's basically saying, listen, I'm just a normal person. I'm not political. I just don't want dudes in the locker room with me. And they elbow her in the face and they go, that's a foul on you. Yeah, shut your mouth.
Oh, God.
So I don't believe they're doubling down, Adam. But here's why. You're right, but I disagree on this angle. There's never been DEI that's been a special program brought into the WNBA. Never has. It was the culture from day one. Their culture was this. Well, this was the culture.
I don't mean this disrespectful. They're all lesbians. A lot of them are lesbians.
The point is, DEI was brought into certain companies and they faked it and they put up programs. We have a DEI program. Mm-hmm. They had DEI DNA. This was it since the beginning. And what you are seeing is a culture clash with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and organ rejection.
According to widespread online reports and speculation, the WNBA has been thrown into an atmosphere of uncertainty as the controversy continues to dominate conversations. Claims surrounding the Seattle coaching staff's alleged treatment of Sophie Cunningham have sparked intense debate, while many fans are closely watching to see whether any legal action will actually move forward. Reports also suggest league officials are working behind the scenes to manage the growing attention and prevent the situation from escalating even further. Across the country, reactions have been sharply divided. The story has spread rapidly through social media, sports discussions, and news coverage, generating nonstop conversation among basketball fans. Many supporters have praised Caitlin Clark, describing her as an exceptionally loyal teammate for reportedly standing beside Sophie Cunningham during a difficult moment and being willing to challenge what they believe was unfair treatment. Others, however, remain skeptical and are waiting for verified facts before drawing conclusions. Meanwhile, some observers believe league executives and opposing organizations are carefully monitoring every development, recognizing Clark's enormous influence on the WNBA. According to ongoing speculation, if legal action were ever pursued or if Clark chose not to play until major changes occurred, the league could face significant public attention, declining viewership, and one of the most challenging periods in its recent history.
Did Nolan Wells that Caitlin Clark actually got some calls last game. So I'm sure the officials saw that, and they made sure today that she didn't get any calls and she didn't shoot many free throws. That was the thing today. You refs got to stay off Twitter, man. You're so reactive in this league, man. This is what a league this is, man. But yeah, this was all game. And I get there at home, and I get that, if you call that every time, all Minnesota's guards would file out in the first quarter. But still, to never call it is the opposite way. Like, and I'm not talking about just fouls, I'm talking about to never call this. This is a foul, okay? If that's Olivia Miles, that's a foul. Olivia Miles is a rookie. Hasn't paid her dues. Doesn't have to mention Cheryl Swoops.
That's true. If the roles were reversed, we're calling a foul on this. And I think that's everybody's biggest gripe. If this wasn't called by any across the board, fine. But the fact that it's such a double standard, maybe not double standard, the fact that there's such hypocrisy involved, it's like, all right, well, we're going to call fouls here. No, I think double standard is the right word. The fact that we're going to call fouls when it's Caitlin Clark playing defense, but we're not going to call fouls when they're playing defense like this on Caitlin Clark, well, that's the issue. We need it to be fair across the board.
And all the veterans, Cynthia Cooper and Teresa Westwood, every time she opens her mouth, she's not required to do that. But she hasn't even paid her dues yet in the league yet. And she gets.
This is the ultimate standoff. The unstoppable superstar versus the entire WNBA coaching establishment. Now, I need to know exactly what you think, buddy. Drop your raw, unfiltered thoughts in the comment section right now. Is Caitlin Clark an absolute hero for suing the coaches and warning the league to protect Sophie? Or is this lawsuit going to completely destroy the WNBA forever? Smash that like button if you stand with Caitlin and Sophie. Share this video right now because the mainstream media is trying to hide this massive locker room explosion and absolutely destroy that subscribe button for more insane breaking WNBA updates. I will see you in the next one, buddy.